Episode 16 of the Beardcaster. My name is Scott Sikora, and I am the Beardcaster. Welcome again to a podcast that is all about beards and mustaches and the great people who wear them and embrace them. These are the stories from the people who live in that culture. These are also the adventures that they have, I have, we have, and the reasons they do what they do, and the facial hair that accompanies them. Sometimes they have facial hair, sometimes they don't. But these are the interesting stories and the situations that follow their facial hair. So please join me on this entertaining exploration about these people and hear why they are doing fun, great, and exciting things for themselves and for the community. Once again, my name is Scott Sikora, and I am the Beardcaster. If you haven't gotten that by now, I thank you once again for joining me on another exciting episode. I'd like to thank everyone that's supported me so far, everyone that's listened so far, everyone that's engaged with me so far. I greatly appreciate all of that. And without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. You can go visit my website at thebeardcaster.com. There's links to all of the social media things there, so you can connect with me in all those different ways. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Go to that website and you can learn all about me, check out past shows. There's players right there. Make it easy to listen and get to anything you want to. So let's just dive right into today's episode. Now, next weekend, I am going to a competition called The Bearding Man in Shippensburgh, Pennsylvania. I met up with one of the organizers, can't even talk, Adam Crabill, and we talked for a while last night about the event and all the cool things that were going on. We talked about the different categories, we talked about all the different judges, and I guess that's for you to listen to right now. So we're just going to dive right into this immediately because it's a little bit of a longer episode. There's really good content in here. So if you're going to the event, you're going to learn some cool things about it. If you were on the fence about it, hopefully there's some things in here that make you want to go. And if you're from out of town, at least sit back and check this episode out and hopefully you find it entertaining. Without further ado, here we go, Adam, and action. We are here with Adam Crabill, who is part of the Bearding Man competition this year. Well, he's one of the organizers. Let's let Adam introduce himself, and let's have him, number one, tell us where he is from, if he belongs to a club, and what his favorite color is. Okay, now go.
Well, again, yep, my name's Adam. I am from the Shippensburgh, Chambersburg, Pennsylvania area. I've relocated. I guess I live in Chambersburg now. This is weird. I am actually part of the 6 O'Clock Shadow Beard Mustache Club from about this area too. I guess you'd say we're based out of Greencastle. Everybody's from everywhere though. Favorite color would probably be all the slightly off black, gray, heather gray color you see because it's goes with everything. It's a stupid color and it's not really a color.
Well, false, because the correct answer to that question was green, but I'll let it slide.
Oh. Okay, I can handle that.
Okay. Now, all right, you live in Shippensburgh, Pennsylvania, which, as we just discussed, is about halfway between Philadelphia and Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Now, tell me about the town. I mean, I know nothing about this.
All right, so Shippensburgh is this little, I don't want to say podunk town, but it is. No, it's a cool town, though. It's nice because it's got a college. We've got Shippensburgh University. So, 8 months out of the year, we've got a population of roughly 15,000 or so. And then, the college kids go home and it's a population of 10.
Wow. That's a huge drop.
I know. No, when the school's in, it's a lot more. But for the most part, it's just one of your standard, mid-state small towns. It's, locals, historical districts, all that kind of stuff. But it's cool. It's got some history. It's got some of that, Civil War history to it. It's got, it used to have a lot of warehouses, factories, things like that. Seems like a little bit of that's coming back these days.
Definitely. I mean, even I noticed with Youngstown, Ohio, which used to be an old steel city, or a steel mill. I mean, it seems like industry is starting to work its way back into a lot of these older, steel towns and stuff. I mean, is Shippensburgh a steel town or?
No, I think predominantly at one point it was like a textiles kind of place, and like it did a lot of production.
Made
nothing.
Shirts and shoes.
Yeah, we literally had like a textile factory and some other stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
But all that kind of stuff. I moved here in '96, and there's not been anything like that since then.
Oh, so it's been so it's primarily been like you said, a college town, and now industry's starting to move its way back in there. So that's cool to see that a little town like that can come back and regrow and reestablish itself.
Yeah.
But I think the one thing that would probably be the catalyst that's really started to reestablish that town was the Bearding Man beard competition, correct?
Absolutely.
Now, give me a little bit of backstory and history about, number one, where it started, how it started, where the name came from, and what its favorite color is.
Okay. Basically, the history of Bearding Man, we're only going into our third year, so it's pretty, infantile in terms of like a nice event and stuff like that. But it is something that's getting, from the first year, man, it's just been like an exponential growth. It's been awesome. And our founder, Jason Stauffer, he was the big proponent of it. He really did it off the ground by himself. And it really came from him, like going to a competition, seeing it, and being like, man, this is really awesome. I'd love to do something like that.
Do you know what competition that was?
Unfortunately, I do not. I do not know what he went to specifically. I want to say it was like one of these bigger city ones, almost like something in New York City or something like that. One of these big. But other than that, he almost doesn't even remember where he came up with the name either. Like he just was like, I don't know. I know I said it to a coworker at a farmer's market one day, and they were just like, I don't know, man. That might infringe on Burning Man Festival or something, but you go ahead and use it.
Well, that's why I just saw on the news or something, Burning Man was like this week or last week or something. So I was like, and I didn't even put the two and two together. I was like, when I heard that, I'm like, it's Burning Man, Bearding Man. Oh, well, it's a cool idea, and it's a cool play on words, especially if that was maybe the idea where it was derived from. So, and being around the same exact time, is that ironic? Yeah. That should be in Alanis Morissette's song.
That might, yeah. Huh. That's kind of funky. I didn't really think about the timeline or anything like that. But I don't know. His thing is just, he really liked everything about a facial hair competition. Hopping in on that name is pretty cool. I know his anticipation too is to have it turn into something so much more than like a small competition, or like, I don't want to say it's super small, but like from being small scale, we'd love for like one day the growth of this thing to be like a beard festival, Oh, yeah. But the trend seems to be, at least what I've noticed from the competitions that I've been going to over the past 4 or 5 years, a lot of them have started as smaller events, maybe 30, 40 people. And like, even for our event 4 or 5 years ago, we're in excess of 400 people now. So definitely the trend's growing, and people are coming to these things. So it's crazy.
So this is the third year. The first year, now, did you attend that one?
I was. I have been at the first two as well.
What would you say the attendance was for the first couple? And have you noticed an exponential growth each year?
Yes, I'd say the first year we were looking at, some of the categories were a little lighter. We didn't have a need to like split anything. But I'd say the overall attendance first year was probably, just well over, 100, inching into 200. And then by the second year, it was like well exceeding 200, 250. Like it was a really good showing. We had super good amounts of people. I remember one of our national categories had to split, things like that. Like it was a pretty substantial difference in 2 years.
Well, that's good. So that the trend would lead itself to believe that this year, when it happens, that it's going to even be bigger than that. So I'm really excited to be a part of this. So how did you get involved in being one of the quote unquote promoters or organizers, or, someone who's in charge of the event? Give us your, and you know what? You forgot to tell me what its favorite color was.
Blue.
Wrong. Green. Sorry. Wrong. It was red. You're not doing good. Okay. But we'll lead you into these next set of questions. And so how did you, let's hear the story about how you got involved in the Bearding Man competition.
So it's more of I heard about it the first year. I was like, wow, I can't believe there's something local like this happening around me. Cause I'd always had a beard, like literally for the last, 20 or 15 years. And, so it was very much like, well, cool. I got to go check this thing out. So I went, checked it out, did natural the first year, did freestyle the second year, and super, even from the day that after the second one, I was like, man, I can't wait till next year. And then, I heard that it might not happen.
So what?
Well, wait a second. Pump the brakes here, man. What the fuck you mean?
Yeah, what's going on?
This is a local thing. I don't travel for this just yet. What do you mean it's not happening? So I talked with some of the guys from like our bearding club, and we talked about it. And I was like, well, let's approach Jason. Let's see what he'd think if somebody else got involved, helped out, made sure this thing could still happen. And that's where it kind of turned. Is like I made the call. I called Jason. I met up with him. We talked over a bunch of things. Like how did why couldn't he? What would need to happen for it to still happen? And he was like, yes, let's do it. I was all for it. I was gung ho. From there, it really just was him and I working a lot together on getting a lot of different things done.
Now, were you like involved with him with finding sponsors for the event?
Yes.
Now, tell us about a couple of the sponsors or your sponsors for the event.
So a couple of them, like Pex Mowers, mowing service and stuff like that. Those are ones that Jason actually had contact from the previous year. He was able to knock them out. But there were a couple that, for example, one of our sponsors, Alpha Fitness, their owner was actually a competitor last year. Good friend of mine and stuff like that. I talked to him. He really, after last year, was like really wanted to be a part of it. Actually, even bigger, our main sponsor, Barbados Grooming, they were just a vendor. And some participants at the event last year, and they were all over it. They really wanted to be a big part. They're our lead vendor. They wanted everything that it was to do with the event.
Well, with the Barbados, I met them at the Pittsburgh competition last year and was sold on their products. I mean, awesome.
Yeah, actually, I have one of their combs.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was like, oh my God, the comb is great. And then he had these little samples that were in these little vials, and he's like, here,
Yes.
And I'm like, dude, this is brilliant. I mean, everything about his little marketing plan that he had was amazing. And I feel stupid because I can't remember his name, but I will be all over him at your competition here. But their product is amazing. Their ideas are amazing, and it is amazing that they're involved with this. And I'm very excited because they are definitely one of the up and coming oil companies out there, in my opinion. And they're a local company too, because they're from an area around. I think they're from outside of Pittsburgh, correct?
Yeah, they're very very local.
And then you have Shamrock Barbershop. What do you know about them?
So they're actually really cool. So that's a barbershop that opened in Ship here really just in the last year. These guys, but they're legit, man. I can go in there. I called them up one day, and it was very much like, do you have someone that can straight razor a head? Because I'm bald.
Oh, dude, I might have to actually go in there when I come in because I've been wanting to get my head straight razored.
So it's wild. They got this guy Yari, man, and he's from Italy. He had his own barbershop in Italy and stuff like that. And he's in here with these guys, and man, it's just perfect on point. It was the first time I'd ever gotten it done too, so I was a little nervous because I'm like, cool, I'm gonna let somebody take a blade to my head. We'll figure this one out. But no, it went fine. It was perfect. John Engel and his brother and stuff own it, operate it, and actually he's pretty pumped too. Like they're real excited. They're like, man, it only makes sense. Beard competition, barbershop and Ship. Come on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, okay. Now, tell me about the actual venue. What's the story about the venue? How did you guys find that? Is it the same place that you guys have had the event for the past 2 years?
Yes. So, our building, the Thought Lot, where we're holding the event and everything, is it started quite a few years ago. It's just like this kind of different building ran by some young guys, all dedicated to the arts and stuff in the area. And so what's trippy about it though, so last sponsor I didn't mention was Beistel, the Beistel company that makes like party favors, different things like that. So this building was their building years ago before their company, before they closed down this building itself and like went up to a much bigger production factory that's still in ship. But it's so funny that this building was the old Beistel building, and Beistel's a sponsor this year. So, but that's where we've been the last 2 years. It's where we'll obviously be at this year. We keep talking that, we want to blow occupancy, man. This place is great. It's cool because they've got a lot of different things where they rent out space for studio space. A couple of businesses operate out of it. We've got a coffee place. I think it's Denim Coffee that's based out of it. I have to double check. But it's Denim. They've got some other businesses. They've got a music store, a music shop that runs out of it. They used to have a gym that kind of ran out of a big room at one point. Like, they've got a lot of different things in this building. So it's one of these cool little subtown hub centers and shit for a lot of kind of neat new growth. Okay. And just this fun venue for us.
I'm very excited to be there. So I've looked at some pictures online of the last year's events and stuff. So I'm very excited to number one, be there, number one, to be a part of the event, and number 8, meet the people from the town, meet the people that have been coming in. So I'm really excited about this. So now let's talk about the MCs and the judges. Now, I know pretty much everyone that's involved, and I was super excited. Number one, thank you very much for asking me to be a part of this, as in being a judge. I was tickled pink, which is not my favorite color, so don't if I ever ask you. But I was very, very humbled and excited that you guys asked me to be a part of it, be a judge, and I thank you very much. And then to see the panel of judges that you guys have and knocked my socks off. And then to see who the MCs were, this is just going to be awesome. So let's talk about the MCs first of all, because those are going to be the people that everyone's seeing all night long, and they're going to be hearing from them. So tell us who the 2 MCs are for the event.
So our 2 MCs are going to be Ben Mifflin,
yes.
Who obviously goes by the Ginger Yinzer. I met him. He's part of the Beard Club. He's outrageous, man. This guy is definitely off the wall. He's been to a lot of different big things. He's pretty well known, especially in the area. Anthony Fontet, the Stash. That's actually one that Jason reached out and got. I haven't personally got to meet him yet, but I know, looking at his style, looking at everything he's got, man, his stuff is awesome.
I will tell you what, when you meet Anthony, you will instantly fall in love with him. He is... I've known Anthony. Anthony and I have been friends for the past few years, but I love him. He's awesome. I was so excited to see that he's going to be there. So you guys,
that's great.
You guys.
I love it. Looking at his style, looking at everything he does, man. Dude, I cannot wait to have this guy at the ship at the event. It's just going to be. Looks like, I feel like between him and Ben, it's going to be crazy.
Oh yeah, Ben. I've known Ben for years too, being part of the Steel City Beard and Mustache Club and competing. I mean, him and I have competed against each other for years in the goatee category or partial beard category, and it's always been, I think it was last year at the Pittsburgh event. I think it came down to him, myself, and Luke Sumter, who's also from the Steel City Beard and Mustache Club, and I have a good history with both of these guys. So once again, you have 2 classy guys, 2 really established guys that are know what they're doing, and I'm very excited to have them there. So now let's talk about the judges, because now we're getting into some really exciting stuff. Mm-hmm. So shoot me who your judges are.
All right, so we got Charles Abadam, Jody Mitnick, Guy Marshall, yourself, Scott Sikora.
Yeah, he's a dick.
I know. I haven't really met him yet, but I figure he's kind of I'm not too sure about it.
He might. I don't know. His favorite color is pink, I hear.
And then of course, and this one's pretty wild. We got Vermin Supreme.
Now this guy. I heard of this guy from Anthony, who I did an interview with Anthony a few months ago when he did his Youngstown event, and Anthony goes, "You need to meet this guy. You need to," and he's like explaining him, and I'm like, "What? A boot on his head?" And I could not grasp the concept of who this guy was. And this is Anthony explaining this guy to me. I think it was about 4 or 5 months ago, and I looked him up, and I'm like, "Holy shit, this guy's crazy!" And yeah. I wouldn't say he's literally crazy, but he's just, the way he presents himself is crazy. And when I saw that he was one of the judges, I was like, holy crap. I'm like, you guys better sit me right next to him.
Oh, yeah. I'd actually heard of this guy before Anthony brought him up, just some random things I'd seen, like, not beard news, but just general news. Like, I literally heard about the guy in normal news. And then when Anthony was talking about it, I was like, Jason, oh my God, Anthony, I don't know how that came from. But when Jason said that, I was like, no, you can't get that guy. Like, he's a politician. Like, he's kind of almost legitimately a politician. Like, what?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, damn, he's like, yeah, no, we got Berman. It's cool, man. Like,
it happened that easy?
Yeah. Like, I mean, I think it took some time. Like, I think you might have done a reached out kind of thing and not heard back for a minute, but then heard back and they were like, yeah, we're excited to do it.
Well, I'm if anything, people need to come just to meet this guy. I mean,
I'm really hoping he's he's got ponies to give out, considering his stance on everybody's ownership of a pony.
Did you guys check into the venue with their policy about ponies?
Well, generally, if it's in Shippensburgh, I figure ponies aren't too bad. With all the Amish population, we're kind of covered in horse shit anyway. So
yeah, I forgot about that because as I was looking at the map, trying to figure out my driving route, and I realized that you guys were also an Amish populated area, as am I, and where I live, there's a lot of Amish people out here. Do you get a lot of Amish guys looking at you?
At me?
Yeah, like, what are you doing, growing a beard?
I don't think it's ever come up. I don't notice that they're looking at me.
I do.
I mean, if they are, it's an envy mostly because, I actually get to have my mustache.
Oh, well, yeah, and you got like a mile-long mustache, but I always tend to see like the Amish guys are just like looking at me like, why do you have a beard? And they always make me feel so darn uncomfortable. And I'm just like, stop looking at me. I'm like, either that or they're jealous that their women are going to leave them for a guy like us.
Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, there's something to be said. Like, okay, yeah, you're an Amish guy, all that good stuff. You got a pretty solid beard. But can you give your lady a mustache ride? Really?
And plus our beards are probably 1,000% cleaner anyways.
Oh, yeah. I don't expect to find like any horse shit, cow shit, pig shit, anything like that.
Tell me a little about Guy Marshall. I'm assuming no relation to Penny.
No, I don't think so. So he's actually an air personality for 104.7 WAYZ out of Hagerstown, Maryland. He, he's just one of these radio guys, man. He's definitely got a good presence in the area. I
see he's a Penguins fan. He is
a Pens fan. Yeah. Huge Pittsburgh sports fan. So really, a lot of our event is going to be dominated by Pittsburgh people.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Well, the thing is like, I already know that with our club, Beards of the Old Northwest, being Cleveland based, we got tons of guys coming out to this too. But yeah, the one thing I love about our club and even the Steel City guys is there's that, of course, that Cleveland Pittsburgh rivalry that goes between the sports teams, but it's kind of touch and go in the bearding scene. But we would like look at it as in we're on the same team, we're in the same club, and a lot of guys, and that's what I think I really love about the bearding and the mustaching scene is it doesn't matter where you live, it doesn't matter like what your status in society is. In the bearding and mustache world, if you're a participant and if you're in a club, you're all equal and you're all friends and you find this common ground, and that's what it really boils down to at the end of the day. Yeah,
it is. That's actually, I even got asked something like that last year, and I was like, yeah, it's really just a cool opportunity. Anything with a beard competition is just a cool opportunity for people who normally probably wouldn't see each other to just be like, cool, you got a beard, I've got a beard. What else? All right, so what else are we going to find common ground on here? Because we've already got one of the best things we could have matched up on.
Yeah, and definitely, I mean, even with you saying you've been growing for 20 plus years, I mean, I'm in the same boat with you. I've been growing for almost 20 years, and I'm sure you're along the same lines where you were that one guy that everyone just kind of stared at, was like, what are you doing? Like,
no, dude, seriously, like, because I started when I did. It's actually, like I said, it's been 15 years or something like that. And I had a beard when I was 15. Like, I was in high school, not even driving yet, and I'm walking around school with a fucking beard, and I literally have like these just,
You had some good hormones going, I guess.
Oh, dude, it was perfect. It was so great because like every other fucking kid was like, looking back, it was like, I don't know, quote unquote cool kids or like jocks or whatever. And all these other guys are like, I remember one time specifically, this douchebag, like redneck comes up. He's like, dude, you got more hair in your face than I got on my nuts. And I'm like, that's because you're a pussy, because that's ridiculous.
Here you go. Your name's like, Nutbeard.
Yeah. Dude, this is fucking crazy. Like, and I've always had it. I've always had some sort of facial hair. Anytime I've ever gone clean shaven, it was like the most miserable day of my life. I
think that another reason why I do this podcast is because of people like you. I get to talk to, I get to meet, which I'm very excited to meet you next week, but to get to meet and get to be around people who have had that same story that I've had. I finally get to meet my like other person who's gone through the same turmoils and everything that I've gone through. And it makes you feel like you're not alone.
Yeah.
but it's not like I feel like I'm an outsider, because now at this, like literally 2010, it all kind of changed. And then now it's like we've all found our families in different parts of the United States.
But I agree with that. Like, it's cool. There's clubs. There's all these people. People are feeling beards. Like, people we wouldn't normally rock them are rocking them. But then it's a little bit of, well, yeah, people that shouldn't and wouldn't have rocked them before are now rocking them. Thanks, guys. You just all the attention away from the fact that I have an epic beard and always have. Your little,
and then
you and your little, beard, hair bun, your man bun guys. Thank you for at least having the beard and not being that awful about it.
Yeah. But, and that's cool. And that's I ride in the same boat as you, because like obviously you and I don't know how old you are, but I'm assuming we're around the same age, and we started growing around the same time, and we've quote unquote had that struggle with our beards, and then now it's more acceptable. More people are doing it, and it's like we've kind of like the old schooler guys have kind of lost that attention that we used to get. Now we've kind of just blended into the crowd. And I mean, that's cool and all. And I like that. And I like the fact that we've found our brotherhood and quote unquote sisterhood too, because there's a lot of really awesome females that are involved. And that's going to lead us right into the next judge, Jody. If you have not met Jody, and anyone's listening to this right now, make sure when you're at this competition, you go up to her and you give her a hug and tell her it's from me. But she is one of the most outstanding individuals in the bearding world right now. And you guys are extremely lucky to get her. And she is an absolute diamond. So tell what do you know about Jody? Tell us why you got her involved.
I can't wait. Again, I know. It's funny. Like the judges part, man. That was Jason pulling all the strings there, man. He really did knock it out, getting some people involved, and who he was able to get. And Jody was one of them. I know with like Whiskerina and all that. When I checked her out, man, I was like, holy shit, she's like Whiskerina to the max.
Yeah, she is top notch, 100% grade A. Awesome.
Oh my God. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, this is amazing. Like, we had a really good female last year. And I mean, the girl actually like put everybody in awe, because the lady was 9 months pregnant on stage with what looked like almost a realistic beard, because she's a master.
And she had a baby?
Well, not Jody. I just met this one girl.
Oh no, but she had a baby. Did she have the baby on stage?
Oh, I wish. We were all hoping. We were all like, really? Could a baby be born at bearding? Man, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, that would be the story for the news.
I know, right?
Yeah, heck yeah.
Oh, dude, so cool. So like after having somebody like that who was able to pull something pretty legit out, and then to be like, oh, and then see that Jody was coming, I was like, that's cool. Like, I'm really driving like to make that category a really fun big category for us now.
Well, I'll tell you what, from my experience in getting out there and around, like the Whiskerina or the women's fake or women's realistic, those are the most popular categories right now.
Oh yeah. For us, it really just wasn't that big before, but I'm really hoping I think this year's the turn for that, honestly, for our event, for the Whiskerinas, for somebody like Jody to be coming. I mean, I know Jody's going to have a following and stuff, so I feel like there might be some ladies that show up just because she's going to be here. Like, that's going to elevate that. It's going to take that category to the next level for us. Oh. And actually, we're probably going to be kicking ourselves because we opted not to break up the category between the realistic and unrealistic. But I feel like Saturday is going to come next week, and we're just going to be like, oh, damn.
Yeah, well, that's when you have to make as an organizer, you need to make those changes or adjustments on the fly.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I still got time. I'm actually still doing I still got some trophy stuff I'm putting together. Maybe I'll throw a set togetger just in backup.
Super terrific. Now let's talk about Charles. And is he in charge or what?
He's Charles, so he's always in charge.
All right. That is, once again, now that's the first correct answer you've gotten tonight.
Actually, so when I looked him up, man, I've seen some style stuff. I'm actually a little envious because I like to do like style my mustache and things like that, and I suck at it. And then I see his goatee, and it's just this pristine little like solid lines of like, you know, control and like the way he's got it styled. And like, I really like his style. It's definitely over the top. It's fun. So I really can't wait, because having somebody like him who's going to come judge like our freestyle and like our mustache guys and like obviously all the natural sides of it as well. But I mean, with as legit as his is, like, I'm super pumped to see like how that critiques what we're going to have this year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's a prominent person in the scene, and he definitely has a look and a style to him. I mean, and it's not just, one thing about him is it's not just the facial hair, it's the facial hair and everything, his outfit, his persona, you know, that's, you're getting everything with him.
Oh yeah. Again, I'm pretty excited for that. Like and I can appreciate that. Like I know like, you know, you have freestyle guys and they usually have an outfit that kind of goes with the look, but I mean, that just looks like him. That looks like,
oh yeah,
you know, he's just,
yeah, when I'm looking at these pictures of him, that is who he is. It like fits his look perfectly. Yeah. That is exactly how he is supposed to be in life. Okay, awesome. Let us talk about the categories now. The teacher beard. Tell me about the teacher beard.
Teacher beard is really cool because it's a direct reflection of our charity and stuff, and of what we're raising money for with our event this year. So it's dedicated to teachers. It's you basically, when you get to the competition, and this where it kind of skews off a tiny bit, but it's still really cool. So basically, the teacher beard is for a teacher. You do have to be an educator of some sort to enter the category. However, you can be anything. So the teacher beard would be for someone who's natural, wants to do a fake beard. You know, it's going to be a mess category in that sense, because it will be like you're going to judge everything possible that a teacher decides to enter as. So I mean, if we have a lady jump in with her fake beard, and we got a guy with a 15-inch beard, and we got another guy slightly freestyled, I'm like, you guys are in one category together. You wanted to be. It's so cool that like it's just this opportunity to go, here's a quick highlight to individuals that mold young minds.
Oh, that is awesome. I mean, it is cool to be able to cater a category to your charity or to your sponsor or whatever. It opens the doors to get more people involved. It opens the doors to get more people to know about the charity that you're working with. And we'll get into that in a little bit more, but I just want to cover each of the categories you guys have going here for the event. Let's talk about, okay, so we got full beard natural. We have greater than 2, 2 to 6, 6 to 10, and over 10. In the past years, or I'll even put it this way, in my experience, we have like the little over 2 categories, a little, there's a few participants. Then you have the 2 to 6, there's a little bit more. Then you get 6 to 10, and that is like the biggest category of the night. And
yeah,
then,
actually, we've been pretty between the 2 to 6, 6 to 10. Oh, I was just gonna say the 2 to 6 and the 6 to 10 are both usually pretty big categories for us. Because we have this handful that are like, did they push over to the over 6? We've got the handful that's like, we're not quite at 6. So that's actually where we broke that up. Because I think we used to do like a 2 to 8 before, and then it was an 8 and over. So we had to start subbing that one out because of how many people were getting into them.
Yeah, and then you get into the over 10, but it's weird because it's over 10, but it's like the super beards. It's like it's way over 10 inches, and then you get like
it's not like someone hits 10 inches and like, okay, you're in the new category, man. Like it's more like, oh, you hit 10 and a half.
Yeah,
sorry, Brian. My bad.
Yeah, well, too bad.
You might want to go trim a half inch and dial back because you're screwed.
Yeah. Yeah, and definitely those.
Not to discourage somebody who's at 11, but it is just the truth. Like that is a big beard category.
Yeah. Once you get over the 6 to 10, it's like if you're thinking about doing this competition, you might as well just trim down to under 10 inches unless you're in excess of anywhere of 16 plus inches, because it seems like that's when you get into the super beard guys that are insane stuff going on. So, but okay, so now then we go to the partial beard. Now this, to me, okay, since I'm a partial beard kind of guy, and there always seems to be controversy in this category, because this is like that one category that just could go 75 different directions at one time, because you could have all these different styles that could be a partial beard, but then it's like, okay, well, we're going to all lump you all together. But then again, you can't have a beard competition that has 75 categories all catering to the partial beard.
Especially like I get it at a national level where they'll pump it out and they'll have like, a ton of categories. Well, yeah, it's a giant national event, but we're a little smaller and local. So that's a challenge, because basically we could turn into I made 10 categories and I've only got one entry per category. I got somebody with a goatee. I got somebody with a sideburns. I got somebody with a handlebar. I got, it would be like all over the place, and it would be, so it's, all beards are and aren't created equal. That's kind of where that falls.
Well, and that's all about personal style and personal preference, and that's exactly how I am. Because I mean, you're obviously a guy who has always liked having a full beard, full mustache.
Well, I've been all over the place. Actually, I've done some partial stuff. I've done quite a bit of partial. My biggest thing for a long time was kind of a short, tight goatee. Simple thing for years. Especially. But I remember this. There was one point like in college where I just said that I was in welding school, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm growing a whole beard. It just seemed like the right thing. Like, welders have beards. Well, I'm going to make sure that mine's as full as it can be right now.
All right.
Now, it didn't end up being a welder, but I kept growing the beard.
Yeah. full. And that's like me. I've always partial beard. I've always liked the goatee look. I cannot stand growing stuff on my cheeks. It just drives me nuts. And I feel like I look like a hobo.
Yeah. I mean, mine gets a little curly on the side, so I try to manage that. But I remember another guy telling me, he's like, I can't stand the sides. Basically, it gets curly, touches my ears, I'm done.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, so now then the next category, we have the Donegal. Now, to me, this has been like the one other category other than the female categories that everyone's really, you're either good at this category or you're not. Now, why did you guys...
It's one of those ones that in the past, and I think in the very first year we did include, it was kind of part of partial beard, because it's kind of a partial beard. It's all that. Yeah. Except that we had so many damn competitors, it became, the rest of the partial beard category got overshadowed by the Donegals.
Well, yeah, and like you had...
Year 2, Jason.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but...
year 2, Jason said, no, I got to have Donegals as a separate category.
Yeah, well, I mean, like you said, with the Amish... If you want to really be technical about it, an Amish beard is a form of Donegal.
Yeah, it is. It's that's how we explain it to people when they're like, "What the hell's a Donegal?" I'm like, Abe Lincoln beard, Amish beard, and they were like, "Oh, Amish beard." We're like, "Yeah, there you go."
Yeah. Okay, so now we get into the mustache. Now you have a category with you're combining the natural and styled all into one.
It will be separate. Don't get me wrong. We will actually have it 2 separate. I think we just put it in that. But it is going to be 2 subcategories. I think that's always a good one. We've had I remember last year, this real fun guy who had this real cool, I'd say this walrus looking natural mustache. That thing was awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys out there who, once again, that's another thing too, is you have these guys who have these nice mustaches, but then you have the super mustaches. There's no in between.
Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, for mustache, I'm there's no breakup there. We're man, it's this natural stuff. And don't get me wrong, I think you can have that amazing, super walrus looking mustache, but you'd be surprised that you come over and this guy's just got a real nice, perfect short stash.
Yeah,
it definitely falls that way. I mean, I think when you look at those kind of categories, the most judges are definitely wowed by this bigger, badder. But I mean, sometimes it's in the details, and that'll be the same thing once you hit the styled mustache. You don't think there's too many styles when it comes to a mustache, but there it is, man. You have people that do these long, wide, wisping ones, and you got the curls, and I mean, that's a fun way to judge that one too.
Now, fake beard, how has that category been growing in your community?
So first year for fake beard, I think it was real quick. You saw a couple. I honestly even remember a few people at the competition being like, I don't really see anybody. Let's just kind of do something real quick. And I remember like watching somebody make a fake beard like in the back. But the second year, it definitely got a little bit more legit. We had like I said, we had this one amazing pregnant woman who came, and she just had, like, honestly, when she got there, we actually didn't know it was a fake beard. We were like, oh, cool, we got a legit bearded woman in the category.
I think I saw a picture of her, and I was like, beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, it was awesome. So yeah, she obviously took that like hands down. But we had some other good, really good ones. We had a yarn beard. We had a cool that was like a two people got together and made like this giant bearded. It was cool. Like they did a team lady beard. It was neat. Like I said, I think going into this year, it's going to be a lot bigger. If last second decision pops up and I got to go, oh God, I got to break this up between natural and fake, we'll do that, or, whatever kind of has to happen. But right now it's just going to be that big category. And honestly, I've actually, I've mentioned to a couple people, because I've had some gentlemen that I've been talking with about the event. They're like, oh, I wish I could grow a beard, or I can't grow it like that. I'm like, we have a fake beard category, man. And contrary to popular belief, it's not reserved for women. Like, if you really can't grow a beard, make one.
Tell me about the freestyle beard category. Now, this one is another one that seems to be like super popular.
So it is. So first year freestyle for Bearding Man, nobody knew what they were doing. And I mean, nobody. We had Incredibeard there as a judge. And I mean, when I looked him up online, I was like, that guy's on point. Like, knowing he was coming as a judge made me think that freestyle was going to be a really cool thing. But granted, this was my first competition, so I wasn't trying anything like that the first year. And then it was just like lackluster. I was like, people did not know what to expect. Flash forward to second year, and then we've got, we had Adam Gazzada, another guy showed up, and then I myself, decided to go the route of going freestyle. We definitely pushed that freestyle edge. Like, what freestyle? If you Google freestyle beard, what do you get? And between like the three of us, we definitely had what is that definition of like cool, big styled beards or anything like that. And I think this year, after how last year went, after what people saw, I think this year that's going to be a bigger thing this year. I think it's always a fun, exciting category. And it's one of those, not that you don't get characters through all the other ones, but freestyle is where you see the characters thrive.
Oh, absolutely. It is definitely, once again, another super popular category that's growing each year and at every competition.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Ginger
beard. What is the ginger beard? This is a different category that I've never heard of.
So this is for those fiery red bearded gentlemen. We've definitely had our fair share of large groups of the ginger type beard wearers. And it's funny because it's not always ginger. It's not just a ginger person that has a red beard. How many people that have dark brown or blonde hair or light blonde hair, their beard grows and it's just fire. And we definitely need a category dedicated to that. Year one, our Lord of the Beards was a ginger guy. And I mean, everybody loves it. It's something about a red beard, man. Like if you have a big red beard, everybody just kind of comes to it.
Oh yeah.
It just looks so wild.
All right. Now let's get to the wizard beard. Tell us about the wizard beard category.
Wizard beard is definitely that white. If you think, man, who's a wizard? Well, a wizard is a big guy with a big ass white and gray beard.
Oh, I was thinking of a guy that pees a lot.
So in that last year, we had one gentleman who has the most, I gotta say, like the most beautiful white beard I've ever seen. You would think this man like curls or like does a bunch of stuff to his beard. He just has this like perfectly white, soft, wavy, like magical beard.
Is it really long too?
Yeah, like and straight up, dude looks like a Viking. It's amazing.
Well, a Viking or a wizard? Now, would that not be a Viking beard?
If we had a Viking beard, I would have said he had to go push off into that category because it was that amazing. But, it is the wizard beard category is dedicated to essentially just white and gray beards. And I mean, his just took the cake as far as a white beard.
All right.
If it was any fluffier, it'd be Santa Claus.
Okay. Well, there you go. There's two more categories. You could do a Viking beard and a Santa Claus beard next year.
Oh, for sure next year.
And for the final category, the heritage beard. Now, this one seems pretty interesting. Tell us about the heritage beard.
Heritage beard is the only category that you can be in as well. So all of our other categories are you enter one category. You can't be like, I've had people ask, can I do natural beard and then styled mustache? I'm like, oh, it doesn't work that way. But you can be in all the other categories. You can be in any of the other categories, and then collectively you and your family or counterpart can be involved in the heritage beard. So for example, I have a cousin coming into town, and we will then be in the heritage category together because he grows a pretty mean beard as well. But that's, and it was cool. So last year we had like a dad and his daughter with her fake beard and the brother. And like, it's a neat thing to be like, it's kind of like this pitting little families against each other super quick because, you know, we've had these pairs, like we've had brothers enter like a natural category and stuff like that. And it's like, man, together you guys would have been something awesome. And that's what our heritage beard category is. It's like, and think of the generational, we actually had father, son, you know, second son, you know, groups come up for the heritage beard category. So I think that'll be bigger this year. We had a good group for it last year, but I think it'll be even more this year.
Well, that's definitely one of the most interesting, innovative, and different categories that I've personally heard of at a competition in probably ever. Now, how did that category come about?
Because we had so many family members, actually. Like our event is definitely more family oriented than others. And that's really what it came from is we just had like, man, we got these brothers. Here's a dad and his son. Like, you know, we saw this like, we saw a need. We saw a need for something that would put all those guys in a group together.
That's awesome. That's definitely paying attention to your clientele, in other words.
Yeah.
Now, one of the final questions I want to ask you, the most important question, and it's not what the favorite color of these guys are, because the answer is blue, but you weren't going to get that right because you've not gotten that right yet tonight. So I'll just...
Nope. When it comes to colors.
Yeah. You must be colorblind, as they say.
Mm.
Well, okay. Everyone's getting together to raise money for a certain charity, raise awareness for a certain charity. Who are you guys working with this year? Tell me about the charity that you guys picked. Is it the same charity you guys have been working with? Is it a different one? Do you guys pick a different one?
It is something different. This one's pretty near and dear to our MC, Ben Neplin. His wife is a teacher, and our charity this year is to benefit the Franklin Learning Center. Big thing for it is it's going to do things like really take care of a technology fee. So basically, for the Franklin Learning Seed, the proceeds are going to purchase like iPads and other assistive technology to help with individualized like instruction. Because the Franklin Learning Center is one of these kind of places that deals with like it can have things like multi-disability classrooms. So somebody who can't really speak, somebody who can't really walk, like it's all about aiding, you know, different learning life disabilities issues with children, you know, verbal, behavior, physical limitations. This is what this school really targets. And it's one of these things like where they essentially got budget cuts. Like you've got teachers who are going out of pocket to like go get a lot of different supplies. And so this is just an opportunity to raise money for these guys because so many programs in schools are moving to things like iPads and technology, different things. You know, it's, you know, one iPad's a hell of a lot cheaper than, you know, 4 or 5 textbooks. And then that's exactly what this is going to benefit is really getting these, getting these students, these faculty members, you know, some of the stuff they really need with the money we're able to raise for them.
Those are the stories I love to hear. And that's exactly why I love being involved in the bearding world because we're using something that we have done, like you and I have done for 20 years to, in essence, help people that need something. And I would highly doubt that 20 years ago when you were growing a beard or when I was growing a beard, we'd be like, hey, you know what? I'm growing a beard right now because I'm 20 years from now, I'm going to try to help raise money for a child to get an iPad. I mean,
exactly.
Who would have?
I never would have thought that. I just thought I liked wearing a beard. I liked having a beard. Now it's like, man, my beard can do something.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's like a superpower for us in a weird way.
Yeah. I mean, growing the beard was already kind of a superpower. But,
yeah. Well, definitely.
But it's one of these things. It's the classic Spider-Man quote. With great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah. Well, wasn't that from Star Trek too? Well, I'm not a Star Trek. I'm a Star Wars guy. So I'm.
No, it's definitely definitely a Stan Lee, Uncle Ben to Peter Parker kind of quote.
Well, that definitely. I mean, growing a beard has definitely turned into something more than just not shaving. We're using our beards and mustaches to help those that are less fortunate, to help children get things that they need. And it shouldn't just be celebrated by one specific day a year or one specific event, but us in the bearding culture are able to unify all across the country and do different types of events to help out all these different children. And I commend you guys for picking a really great charity to help this year.
Thanks. I think, like you said, it is an exciting one. I'm really glad Ben was able to bring it to us.
All right, Adam. Well, let's wrap this up right now, and let's finish this off by, do you have any website addresses you'd like to share with us?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. You want to check out, www.beardingman.com, looking up all of our sponsors, especially if you can't find them on regular internet, like, at a .com, you'll be able to find them on Facebook. So, our big things like our sponsors, Alpha Fitness and their Alpha Athletic brand, the Shamrock Barbershop in Shippensburgh, Hex Mowing Service, Beisel Service, and of course our big main sponsor there, Barbados Grooming. Check all of them out as well. You will also be able to find, I will make links in my show notes on the page for the podcast, so you can just go right to that as well, and I will have links to absolutely everything, either it be their website or a Facebook page. So I'll make it super easy for everyone to find stuff too. Awesome. And I know everything, there's from our website alone, I know there's connections to almost all of that. We've got connections and links to everybody's profiles, like our judges, MCs, everyone's got a lead off everything. You can pretty much get to everything from our website as well.
All right, Adam. Well, I am looking so very forward to driving out to you guys next week and being a part of this. I thank you guys for including me on this.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for being a part of it.
Yeah, I will. I can't wait. So I'm going to take lots of pictures. I'm going to try to do a lot of interviews and stuff. So there'll be more to this episode other than just you and I talking about what to expect. There will be an after going on. So I'll be talking to people there and getting, all sorts of different types of feedback and everything. So I want to thank you very much, Adam. And once again, like I said, check out all the show notes. I'll have links to absolutely everything, and we shall see you in a week.
Awesome. Yeah, we will see. Yeah, we'll see you then, Scott. Again, thank you for everything.
And cut. I'd like to thank Adam once again for taking the time out of his busy day to talk with me about the Bearding Man competition. It sounds like it's going to be a really awesome time, and we hope that you all can make it out there, and hopefully I get to judge you up on there. I like to judge people. So come on out, support, remember thebeardingman.com. You can go to that website to find out more information, or once again, there's an extensive amount of show notes, a little bit about the interview and a lot about each person that's involved. And there will also be links to all the sponsors for the event and other sponsors. Speaking of sponsors, let's talk about Waffender Whisker Oil. Let's talk about Brutal Beard. Let's talk about Groom to Gorilla. These are three amazing companies that I work with that provide me oils that I love. They all make wonderful products, and I'd really like for you to check them out. Each one of them has their own link on my page, so you can go to the products page, check them out, order some new stuff, ask me questions, give me an email at scott@thebeardcaster.com, and I can tell you anything you want to know about them. So once again, thank you again to everyone. Check out thebeardcaster.com for more information. Check out my blog. Check out anything. Check it out on iTunes, Stitcher, what else? Google Play, and iHeartRadio. So once again, thank you everyone for checking out the show today, and we'll be hearing from you. Well, you'll be hearing from me soon. And thank you.